Hello, welcome. Happy to have you here on my BlueWater Oracle page and channel and location. So for those who don't know me, my name is Sheila Bicknell. I am BlueWater Oracle and I am based just outside of Montreal in Quebec, Canada. So we're here today it is mid-December. It is a snowy phase for us here. And we are here today to look at our year wheel for 2023. So I apologize if the video looks a little bit grainy, if I look a little bit shadowy. Such is the adventure of a slightly older computer, but I try to keep my technology going for as long as I can before I upgrade. So I'm looking forward to when I can have a video camera that is even better and you can see me and clearly and crisply as we get used to, of course, with all different technology. But for now, I hope that you'll stick around and I hope that you will enjoy this year wheel. So this is an offer that I've also put out in December. And you can head to my page and my newsletter and things to get more details on it. But let's go straight into this general read year wheel and see what kind of energy we are bringing forward or going to see throughout 2023. So in case you're wondering what a year wheel is, it's basically a card reading or a methodology of reading where I do intuitive card readings so that we pull a card for every month of the year and receive a message, receive insights for that month. And then we do a theme card, which will be general at the end for the whole year. So we're going to do it on video, which is why I'm here. Hello. So that we can see the flow through from one month to the next. Because of course, in the natural world, in our lives, in the energetic world, spiritual worlds in which we all live combined, the month and the energy doesn't stop on a specific day. So it doesn't say it's January 31st, that's it. And February, something totally different starts. It might, but generally there is a flow, right? Things come in, something else comes in, something moves out. And then we add to it, of course, planetary changes, seasonal changes, which will be different whether you're in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere, the moon phases, just life world events, your personal life and events. So we get a lot of different factors that are all combining together. This is a general read, which means it's not for one person. It is for those who might come across it, those who might already be working with me or following readings on my page. So I hope it is of value. I hope it is of help to you. And let's go intuitively into the cards. Now, my camera setup is not so fancy schmancy that you can see the whole cards because I'm not there yet. But if you have seen the year wheel offer, you will see the image of the cards. And of course, I will share it out also onto my social media. Once I've done the whole layout and flip them over, you'll be able to find it on my social media. If you're on my newsletter, you'll receive it there as well. So lots of places that you can find it. And if for any reason you're like, Sheila, I can't find the picture, I don't see the cards, send me a message, send me an email. I will be happy to forward it to you at any point during the year, because this is a 12-month adventure that we are heading into. As I said, we're mid-December 2022, so this is a year wheel moving into 2023. So I already have the cards laid out. They've been sitting waiting for this reading to be done, and we are now ready to go forward. So on my desk, on my mat, I also have my selenite wand, which I use a lot. Let me show you my beautiful selenite wand. So this, he comes out with almost every reading I do, is a good guide, is a cleaning power, is a centering aspect of my reading work as well, and I love it. I also have a rose quartz, I have a green moss agate, I have a couple of citrine, and I also have a blue agate, which have all wanted to come out and be part of this year wheel. Let's go into it. So the decks that we have, I want to introduce you to the decks quickly. Robin Wood Tarot by Robin Wood. We have also the Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. Those are both Llewellyn published. And then from Hay House Publishing, we have the Soul Coaching Oracle cards, the Gateway Oracle cards, and the Native Spirit Oracle cards by Denise Lynn, as well as the Earth Magic Oracle cards by Stephen Farmer. So those are the ones I'm working with for this deck. And interestingly, for the 12, not on purpose, it's just the way it happened, I ended up with 2 cards from every deck. And then a third one came out for one of the decks for the 13th card. So let's have a look. Our first card is coming from the Robin Wood Tarot for January. So January 2023, show it to you, first time I see it as well, is the 10 of Cups. What a fabulous card to start the year with. So the Robin Wood is a very Celtic-y looking, it's a very earthy, very sort of natural, people-oriented, real-life sort of aspects. Of course, it has fantasy aspects as well, but it has that kind of real-life aspect energy to it. So here we have somebody who would be representing maybe a knight in historical reference, the male figure, but with his family. So he's got a partner, he's got children, all right? And whether you prefer whatever your gender orientation is, it doesn't matter. Take it for whatever it's worth. It's a partnership with family. So that's what you want to look at, partnership with family. And there's success in this. Then we've got house in the background, a home, a place to live. We've got the rainbow bringing the, hey, we've been through a lot of storms and now we're getting that rainbow. We're getting all the colors of the rainbow. The clouds are parting, the light is coming through. There's a bluebird up in the sky, and we've got our 10 cups, and we've got a cutie little robin probably down here. So it's very much that framed image, clouds coming through the clouds. So if we were to think about this in the journey of the years that we've had, I would take this as meaning that 2023 brings with it the potential for a lot of really different energy, a lot of shifting and breakthroughs and coming through that tunnel of cloud, which we love the cloud, we love the rain, we need it, but at times it can be very intense. So bringing through that, to bring that rainbow forward, to bring that gathering, that togetherness of partnerships and family. So the 10 for me, the cups, let me do the cups first. The cups is emotions, relationships. So going into feelings, feeling your feelings is really important in this upcoming year. You cannot deny them anymore. You cannot push them down and squish them down and pretend they don't exist. They are part of you and your essence as a human being. All right. They are part of who you are. They represent the water element, these cups. So we have those ups and downs. We have that flow in and out. This is part of our life, part of your life, part of mine. And we need to acknowledge this. There's also that abundance, right? What are you filling your cup with? So pay a lot of attention as you step into January too. What am I bringing into my life? What am I filling my cups with? So if I've got 10 cups and I think about relationships, I think about feelings, how am I approaching those cups? Am I nurturing them? Am I taking care of what is in the cup? Am I filling it with things that are of value to me and are helping my journey? If I'm thinking about relationships, are they relationships that I'm spending more time in on ones that are of assistance to me, of bring me value, of help me in my journey? Maybe there are some others that are more challenging or more difficult to manage. So perhaps I won't be filling my cup as often with them, or I won't be allowing them to drain from my cup as often either. So the 10 here for me is also representing that sort of accomplishment, that getting to the final. So if you think about the numbered cards in the tarot going from ace or 1 through to 10, so this is that final, this is that accomplishment. We've completed something, and then what's coming next? So look at your accomplishments, and I think this is a fabulous thing for January, right? Look at all your accomplishments for 2022, 2021, 2020, right? Look back at the years. Look at your successes, your victories, and look at what you walked through. Maybe you were like the male individual on this card, and you had a lot of stuff to do to get back to family, to be able to get back to home, to be able to take care of family and protect. Maybe the female version is also looking at, in the context of this card, is looking at, what did we have to survive? What did we have to do to keep the home running, to keep the work going, to keep the family going, to keep fed, right? It doesn't matter which gender side you're looking at, they're all playing the part together. And they've had to go through a lot to get to this, beautiful framed moment. Right? So look back at your victories, look back at your accomplishments. Look back at what you've walked through, how you got through them, what happened, how you made it through, what you learned. So give yourself that opportunity. And quite often, I think people do it, sort of try to do it like on January 1st. But this is saying all of January. Take those moments. Don't only think about it as the new year. I have to have already had that done. No, let's look at that, because this is suggesting to me that January is a real sort of wrapping up of things, and that shift, that breaking through into what am I filling these 10 cups with? Because then what's going to come in February? Which cups am I focusing on more for me? Which cups am I filling? Which cups am I noticing get drained? Which cups are representing certain relationships or certain emotions or history? And then how do I want this rainbow to be framing? If I were to frame my life in a picture, this is me talking for you. If I were to frame my life in a picture, what would I put in that picture? Right? What would I put in there? What would I include in there? What would be in the picture of my life? And this is really important. And this, I think, is a great way to sort of summarize it, that little cutie summary. And so maybe it's not an entire board or an entire book or an entire life journey manuscript, but maybe it's one picture. What would be the summary of the journey so far and breaking into? How would that be summarized in a one frame picture? All right, so that is January 2023. Let me look at the card and see if there's anything else that it wants to say at this point. I would say the last thing is a very traditional thing, is something I work with a lot of people do as well, is to notice what brings you joy, is to notice what, and I did a live session on my page last evening, and the first card was joy. Notice what fills you with love. Notice what you're grateful for. Notice what you have that you're grateful for. So this person is in this picture. These people are in gratitude, in happiness, in joy for what they have in this particular moment. There's all the journey before, and there's a whole bunch of stuff coming, life journey, life adventures. But in this moment, what are they thankful for? What are they grateful for? And what are they happy about and feeling the love of life in that moment? Very important. So that's our January. So let me slip back into our year wheel. So then we move into February 2023, and we'll see how the cards play with each other if they want to. So this is from the Native Spirit Oracle cards by Denise Lynn. Let me show it to you. I have not seen it. Song of the Wild. Ooh, Song of the Wild. So we go from 10 of Cups, rainbows, framed, filling our cups, really that accomplishment. And then we go into Song of the Wild. So my sense with the first card was that February is going to bring a different kind of energy. So we still have our rainbow. Look at that. We've still got our rainbow coming up over the top. And in this card, you see a sort of horizon of gentle rolling hills. You've got grasslands in the front, which always look as though they're in that sort of late summer, that golden color. You've got a beautiful tree, magnificent tree off to one side with the sun behind it. And the rainbow is going beyond the clouds, past the clouds, in front of the clouds, over to the tree and the sunshine. Bright golden sunshine, Song of the Wild. So this suggests to me that February is going to come in with a different kind of energy. I'm not trying to predict what's coming. I'm just trying to help us to see as we walk into the next month, what can we work with? What do we want to be aware of? And then how it plays out for each individual is, of course, going to be different. So my readings are not really to try to predict, although when we do this kind of thing, of course, there's an aspect of seeing into the future, or seeing what might be coming, but it's more for you to be aware of and to have the tools at your disposal when you need them. So Song of the Wild in February. Yes, there's going to be a different kind of energy. It's going to be a sort of starting point after that 10 of Cups. So after January, February brings something new. It brings some changes. It brings some difference that's coming in. It might feel a little bit wild, but wild can be amazing as well. So recognizing for yourself, what would be my Song of the Wild? If I were to be singing my wild version song, and wild doesn't have to mean crazy, it doesn't have to mean chaos, it doesn't have to mean out of control. The natural world is wild. It follows its own balance. I was writing this in a post to somebody yesterday. It follows its own balance. It follows its own rhythms that have been developed over millennia, right? So what is your song of the wild? Golden light, rainbows after the storm, something's shifting, something's changing, keeping in mind those 10 of cups, how you're working with your energy. And here, how are you singing into your life? How are you bringing that wild balance, that natural balance into your life? How does it work? How does it want to work? What do you need? And what do you need to be aware of? Right? So the Song of the Wild is also going to get you to have those moments where you stop, where you really stop and look around, breathe, really breathe, deep breathing, and look around and say, all right, where is my next path in the wild? Where is my next signal? Where I watch a lot of Wild Earth, their safari drives, where they're fantastic, amazing naturalists. And so where are my tracks? It's reminding me of the tracks. Where is the signal? Where is the water? Where is the food? So remind yourself, but you have to pause. So in this month of February, there's going to be those wild, probably ups and downs, those wild flows of water that the rain, the clouds moving, bring us the rainbows, bring us the bright sun, which is amazing, but we have to be prepared for those ups and downs. So when you need to, when those ups and downs are shifting and changing, take a pause, breathe, step into yourself, be in your moment, and look, where are my indicators, right? Another analogy that just came as I'm doing these strange fingers is, on a plane, for anybody who's traveled on a plane. So what do? They indicate, let me put the card down, the exits are here, here, here. The oxygen masks come down from here. The life thingies are here, right? Like it's all the fingers, the indicators, here, here, here. So this feels like for February, isn't that amazing how that happens? For February, it's something where you want to pause with the Song of the Wild. You will need to have moments where you really pause, where you really breathe, and you look at, okay, am I going this way? 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 Where is the indicators? Where are my signs? Where are my priorities? So I keep those cups from that first month, even if they're shifting and changing. How do I do it? What is my Song of the Wild? Okay. How are we doing? All right. So that's February. So things feeling different, but more wildness coming in, probably some changes in the world. That's the way it kind of feels. That ending of the 10 of cups, this new things coming in, but it's asking us not to forget the 10 of cups, everything that came before, and to remember and to identify with our own Song of the Wild, which means we've got to pause, we've got to breathe, and we've got to choose carefully our directions and choices. Okay. Month of March. So month of March is from the Soul Coaching Oracle cards, also by Denise Lynn. I have a bunch of her decks, all her decks. So here we get, passion. The passion card. So the month of March, passion. So in the Northern Hemisphere, this is shifting into springtime. In the Southern Hemisphere, this is switching into autumn. So we have the equinoxes. We have that balance of light and dark. In the springtime, we switch into the full on of growth coming in, the coming up through the earth. In the autumn, we go back into the earth, right? Start that closing down before winter. The affirmation on this card is, I passionately accept and love myself. So notice the strong energy of this card in March. So as you get into March, whatever's happening in your March season, you've got passion for you. You've got electricity within you. You have electricity for life, and you want to be embracing it, and you want to be allowing it to blossom and come up. So this is where you might see some of the challenges that have been present over the last few years or over the 2023 years so far come up. But what it's saying is, despite those challenges, a bit like the lotus flower coming up through the mud, right? Despite those challenges, despite the world adventures, despite whatever's going on in your own life, you have passion, and you are passionately accepting and loving yourself, right? Passionately accept and love yourself. Don't do it sort of half-hearted, blah, blah, blah. No, really, you are you. You are walking with you. You've got that song of the wild. You've got those 10 of cups that you've already journeyed with. And now you get that big, bold blossoming. It doesn't mean you need to go out and yell it from the rafters. You can do it quietly for yourself, but it must be felt. So passion is something that is known, but is also felt. So those 10 of cups from January, asking you to feel, is part of the preparation for what comes in February and what comes here in March with that passionate energy, electrifying energy. Okay, let me see if there's something else with this. So I passionately accept and love myself. So in March, as the season changes and as you have gone through whatever you've gone through prior to then, whether it's deep summer or deep winter, start of the year is the start of the year. Our calendar year, no matter what the season is, most of us start calendar year January. And so by March, we're in the year, the first quarter of the year. We are shifting into the next season. So it brings that kind of, oh, holy, wow, it's not the beginning of the year anymore. We're like full in. What does that mean? What do we have to do? So within this, you may get that sort of rocky up and down feeling of, oh, what's going on? What do I really have to do? What do I really have to pay attention to? And that's where that passionately accepting yourself, passionately loving yourself and your life comes in important. So have moments where you, figuratively speaking, plug in your life and say, okay, oh, here I am. And this is what we're working on. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm seeing and experiencing. Let me bring it to the forefront. Let me show myself. So how do you do that? Do you do it with journaling? Do you do it with art? Do you do it through your work, through your family? How do you electrically connect passionately with your life? And there's a part of you in this month of March that is saying, hey, you know what? The more you passionately accept and love yourself, the more the whole world figures that out, the more the whole world can accept and love itself as an entity with the human species so that we all work together for the next phase, right? So that we allow the earth to do what it needs to do to sustain itself and to sustain us. Okay? That passion comes in, right? So in the month of March, you may notice that there are moments where you are sort of passionately saying no to certain things and passionately saying yes to others. But it's got to be all about you being really, really true to you, because you can't accept yourself without that truth. You think you can, but in the context of this card, it's like, yeah, nope. You need to really get true with yourself as you shift into this new season, this new part of the year, because that first phase sort of has leveled off and now it's game on, full on, in we go, here we are, because we're coming into the months of greatness, whether it's great growth and extreme sunshine for summer, or whether it's great quiet and coming down into the earth of winter. That makes sense? I hope it does. Okay. So how do you passionately accept and love yourself? These would be projects, if you haven't already done it, or if you want to revisit it for the month of March. Really important. Coming up through whatever to blossom, electrically charge your life at times so that you can see it, right? We're humans. In the dark at nighttime, yeah, we don't always see stuff. We can feel stuff really well, but we don't always see it so well. So when we plug something in, we can be like, oh, that's what the room looks like. Oh, that's what this part of my life is showing me and needs right now. And you will gain value from that. But it's all around the passion. So you're going to have some fun as well in March. And it's encouraging you. Find some stuff you love. Find some stuff you have fun with. People, places, ideas, concepts. Bring in that passion to whatever you're doing as well. And if you're doing stuff and being with people and doing things that there is zero passion, while we know that there are requirements in life of things that we don't always love as much and we don't always enjoy as much, there also can be that sort of lighting it up a little bit and saying, all right, this is happening so that this part can happen. I need to do this so that this happens. How do I bring in that electric beauty, that electric fire and charge and energy? Is it with music? Is it with color? Is it in self-expression? How do I do that? Find your ways. Find your ways. So that's March, and we move into April. All right, so April's from the Gateway Oracle cards by Denise Lynn. And we get Expecting Miracles. All right, gorgeous card, Expecting Miracles. So in this card, you see two open hands facing up. From them is growth, like victory wreath, victory laurels, right? The victory laurels, growth, plants growing up. You see this beautiful bright light off in the distance, and you see the lotus flower or water lily coming up in the base. So two different decks, same author, but if we look, so this was March and this is April. So April comes in a little bit softer, expecting the miracles, a little bit softer, a little more open, a little more growth happening, but with that bright light that is saying, hey, just shine on, see the miracles, notice them, see the gratitude, notice it, see the growth and notice it. You're always shifting and changing as a human being, whether you're 5 years old, 15 years old, 25, or 85. You are always shifting and adapting in your life. That's part of living. That's part of having the adventure of life. Here it says, miracles are blossoming in my life. So as we look through the journey so far in the months, this feels as though April has a potential to be a beautiful month for a lot of people. It is going to depend on what we did, what we journeyed with, how we worked with the energies of those 3 months. So we have responsibility in this. We have actions. We have processes that we can work with ourselves that help our own lives, but also help the whole. Are we in control of everything? No, of course not. But we do have a lot that we can choose and to work with. And then what do? We open up. We know that stuff is just going to happen. We know that the world is going to do what it's going to do. Other people are going to do what they're going to do. But we also expect miracles. So how do we shift from looking at things in perhaps a very dreary way, a very negative way, or even a hostile way, and we shift it into a little bit more ease, a little bit more simplicity, a little bit more understanding, and open up to come through the dark, to come through the mud in whatever way is necessary for us, and to allow that growth to happen, right? So expecting miracles, miracles are blossoming in my life. This also indicates that there's going to be an aspect of April that is, yeah, just it is what it is. So go with the flow, discover your flow, find that way that you can be in the presence of the miracles, be in the presence of life, dance with the journey rather than trying to either control it, trying to schedule it all the time, every second, or trying to force or push miracles. This is expecting them, knowing that they're abounding, but also opening. So notice for yourself in April, your life, others, in your life, notice where there may be walls, where there may be closures, where there may be fear, right? Where people are fearful and so therefore don't allow certain things to come forward the way they want to or the way they might need to. And the world in general, as I talk about this, the world in general feels that in April, it's really wanting to, in a lot of different ways, blossom and open up. So we have, as individuals and as communities and as countries and as organizations and governments, et cetera, we have responsibilities to look at those first 3 cards and say, all right, what have I done? Have I done my homework? Have I opened up so that there are things that are possible? And if I haven't, all right, I am not going to, beat myself up. No, I'm going to say, all right, let me expect miracles. Let me see what I can do. Let me open up to the possibility of growth and think of that seed coming up, pushing up through the mud, germinating, woohoo, sunshine, rain, and off I go into the next phase of my journey. So allow yourself in that. This is a no beating up zone. This is a responsibility, yes. Awareness, yes. But then opening and growth and expecting miracles, knowing that they're blossoming in your life. And then notice them. Notice them. What are the miracles? What do they look like for you? How do they feel for you? Are they happening every single day? Right? Are there miracles that you tend not to be grateful for, but they're there? You know, do you have clean water coming out of your taps? Did you put it there? Do you know how it got there? Like all the details? Do you know where it came from? Do you know the processes? Do you know how many decades or centuries it took to get to this point? Is that a miracle? Maybe. So allow that consciousness to open up within you and that awareness. That's April, expecting miracles. And I need a sip of tea. So for anybody who's having tea, cheers. Or any other beverage, remember water is very important. All right. Take a moment, breathe. You do not also have to watch this entire video in one shot, right? You can come back to it and watch different months or see how they play together and remind yourself you're more than welcome to do that. Use it as it's valuable to you. So April, May. So in May, we shift into a card from the Earth Magic Oracle cards by Stephen Farmer. Let me pull it. Let me show it to you first. Gaia, nurturing. Oh, I'm sensing a theme. Are you sensing a theme? I'm sensing a theme. Now, of course, there's tons and tons of different decks. There's different cards. There's different styles of decks. Most of my decks are quite uplifting, very positive, earthy oriented. But I have decks, of course, the tarot are very different. They bring in different energies. And all of the cards, in the way that I read them, have the potential to show us what do we need to see, what do we need to improve upon, what is a challenge point that's coming, or a difficulty. So when we get into, through our expecting miracles, yay, we get into Gaia, nurturing. So here we have this beautiful artwork, and we put it, hopefully you can see it, as she is breathing life into the world. So for those of us in the north, April, May, absolutely full on life, blossoming, things growing, babies in nature. It's just the way of it, right? Water has come down from the mountains as things are melting from the winters, right? That's northern hemisphere. So here we have done journeys through a bunch of different things so far. You know, 2023 looking like, yeah, we've got ups and downs, we've got some waves, but we also have miracles, and we've got passion, and we've got possibility. And here we bring in nurturing for Gaia. Now, those who know me, those who already follow me or have seen some of my posts, you know that I'm the care of the planet and gardening and nature and wild is high on the priority scale for me, really, really high. So when I see a card like this, I can't help but connect it with our planet, its Gaia, its energy. So let me go there first, and let me go then to you as an individual. So when we look at May, it feels to me as we go forward that there are really, really strong decisions that are coming down and coming up. So coming down from organizations and people in decision-making positions, coming up from grassroots, from people, from individuals, from small towns, from indigenous groups who maybe don't have as much power yet, right? So we're getting this combined effect, and us humans and the world are in between all of this. So we're getting some strong decisions. So when you then look back at the previous stuff, if you look at it from an environmental, climate management, earth management, human responsibility kind of decision, you can see how we can really play with those previous cards, and knowing that, hey, there are decisions to be made, and May is an important time. So it is possible that something will happen in May that really sparks this. I can see it as a possibility, but I don't see it as a definitive. So we'll see. I don't worry about it either way, but I'm just aware of it. But decisions will be coming down are important for world balance, for world needs. And then that comes down into each individual need. So what do you need to be spreading across your life that represents nurturing, that represents the balance of all things in nature? So for those who are listening on audio or can't see the card very well, what it is that within the essence of the Gaia spirit or Mother Earth spirit, she's got everything. She's got all animals, all creatures, in the air, on the land. She's got plants, she's got everything. And she is going over a valley with the rainbows coming out of her fingers and plants growing out of other fingers. And she is literally breathing life into the world, right? So what do you need to breathe life into for you? What are you nurturing for your own life, for your own wellness, for your own people, for the people you love, for the things you love? What is really important in this for you, right? So this is a nurturing card, but it's also a Mother Earth card. So Mother's Day, I believe, for us in Canada anyway, is in May. So it's going to be a very strong, very important day this year. Mothering of each other, not just female energy, but the divine feminine. So mothering of each other, the care for each other, period. No how, no maybe, no this person should, this person doesn't. Care for each other, period. Isn't that interesting? And it starts much like that accepting that we had in March with you. What do you need to nurture in you? What are you planting in your life that you are going to nurture and take care of? And how does it come about? If you've already been planting, how are you seeing the growth? How are you seeing that life being breathed into it? And if for whatever reason you are noticing that if there was energy sort of spreading over and your life was in it and you're looking at it going, what is this? This is not what I am desiring. This is not what I would like to be feeling and living and how I would like to be making choices. Then Gaia is coming in to say, oh, you as a human, you as a spiritual energy, as the essence of humanity, as the essence of spirit, you have so many choices on how you adapt things. Does it always show immediately in the physical? No, for sure it does not. But it will always be present within your energy and in your inner knowing. And that has a vibration that is powerful and spreads over you, those close to you, and others around you. Like the ripples I have on my painting, it spreads in wonderful, beautiful ways. So that's our May card. This card feels like it has so much more to say. So we'll see as we get closer to May, and we'll see with the other cards if it wants to come back to this. But it's a powerful, beautiful card, Mother Earth, Gaia, and all of the energy of nurturing in the month of May. Then we move to June. So June energy is for the Gilded Tarot, coming from the Gilded Tarot. So this is by Ciro Marchetti, Llewellyn published, and we go to the Queen of Cups. So are you sensing some divine feminine? Let me see. Yeah, yes. Okay. So we started with 10 of Cups for the year. We've moved into passion, expecting miracles, song of the wild, that natural wild. Then we have Gaia in our May month, Mother Earth. And now we have the Queen of Cups. So she is out of my deck. The Queen of Cups is the birthing queen. She has that presence. It looks like she has a pregnancy bump a little bit. Could just be the dress, but in the way the context of this reading is, it looks like she has that birthing capacity. She is cups. So she is emotions, water, relationships. She is the nurturer out of the queens. Absolutely. She is the nurturer. So that message from May is continuing on here, but here it comes in queen energy. So who is rising up to speak in a way that represents that nurturer? So this is not coming in with sword energy. This is not coming in with defiance and conflict. This is not coming in with battleground. This is coming in with nurturing, looking out onto the ocean behind her, strong, loyal, like her pillar, able to see the perspectives of what is needed within the land and the home in which she lives and cares for. The clouds behind her are stormy. So for sure, this isn't all ease and joy and light and love and flow in every moment. Those are all present, but then there's daily living and there's life and there's humans and there's interactions. But she is reminding us that that dignity, that nurturing, that rising above, and that methodology of communicating within relationships and within care of that method of nurturing the earth and the individual and each other is highly important. So in June, where we get into solstice, right? Where we get either longest day for summer solstice, shortest day for winter solstice, we are looking at the strength of the divine feminine. And everybody has divine feminine. Male energy people, male humans, female humans, everything in between. We all have divine female within us. And so this feels like it is a recognition after the Gaia, Mother Earth, the divine feminine of the Queen and the Queen of Cups with that nurturing, birthing energy coming in. And she looks over the land and then she makes choices and decisions. So for you as an individual, how can you bring in this Queen energy into your own life? Where do you need to nurture? Where are you giving birth? How do you choose to be caring for yourself and for others in your land, your water, your air, your plants, your treasures, everything? What is that queen, that strength and power, but from a nurturing, caring perspective, not from a beating down, crushing perspective at all? Isn't that powerful and beautiful? I love it, right? The coloring of this card also really brings me into our lower chakras, right? Root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus. So it's got some reds in it. It's got the orange. It's got the yellow. So it's got those sort of autumnal colors, right? Those lower chakras. It doesn't mean the others are not playing, but this feels like it's coming into that rooting foundation womb area, energy center area of the body and of the human, so that the nurturing comes within the individual, to the individual, and then through the individual out into families, friendships, work relationships, communities, organizations, governments, countries, world. Very powerful. Very powerful. We move from the first half of the year. We've done through June. Now we step into July, second half of the year. We are now in the either summer or winter season. The card here is from the Gateway Oracle cards by Denise Lynn. Let me bring it up. Communicating freely. Ooh. I communicate from the depths of my being is the affirmation on this card from Denise Lynn. Communicating freely. So what you see in this card is a face that is all in blue. So now we move from into sort of throat chakra, right? That blue area, that communication area. Heart is present throughout everything, I feel. But then we get this blue. And from the mouth of this blue face with the sun, the sky and the stars above, we get the communication. We get waves, we get growth of plants, we get hearts, we get birds, we get music. So everything is in that flow, communicating freely. I communicate from the depths of my being. And what does that mean? Well, that wants you to look at the first half of the year. The feelings, the personal song of the wild, the passion, the self-acceptance, the self-love that's in there. The expecting of miracles, the coming up through the challenge to blossom, the nurturing of Gaia, the nurturing and support and birthing of Queen of Cups, and then we get communicating freely. So whatever kind of communicating you're going to be doing in July, communicating with yourself, communicating at work, communicating with partners, communicating with family, communicating internationally, locally, whatever communication you're doing. This is saying you are keeping in mind all of that other stuff that has happened before, because that is part of the journey. So if you ignore the first half of the year and all those cards and all those messages and you leap into this, your communication will still be free, but will it really be from the depths of your being? Will it really be honoring your truth, honoring that nurturing, powerful, divine feminine energy, whether you are male or female or any other gender identity, right? How are you communicating? So you're going to really pay attention to your words. You're going to really pay attention to the words of others the body signs of others, the body communication. You're going to pay attention to the land, the earth, nature, the weather. Communication is coming to us all the time. So there's some interpretation that needs to happen, and there's a lot of listening that needs to happen in July. And then the communication from you outwards can also be a part of it. Because if you're only talking, la, 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 and if you're doing no listening, and if you're doing no observing, then is there really free communication, or is it one-sided? So interesting. I communicate from the depths of my being is the affirmation on this card for July. And I love how it plays. Of course, you know, some of these cards are by the same authors, and cards, oracle cards, will have similarities in symbolism. But I love how, you know, we get the waves in here, we get the growth in here, we get the different colors as well. So we're getting, you know, that sort of rhythm of the year, which is really interesting. Okay. I can see in that card, and the reason why I think it talked about the first part of the year and what has been done and what is already paid attention to as it steps into the second part of the year, because I can see that there is a strategy by certain people to communicate in a way that does not represent from the depths of the being, that does not represent the nurturing, caring for everybody aspect. It is free in the sense of being able to communicate and communicating whatever is wanted, but it is not coming in that context of flow and heart energy and respecting chakras and respecting others and being the nurturer, being the carer for the planet as well as for the individual. So that, I think, is the difference and the nuance there. So that you'd want to notice and pay attention to, and then think about, again, going back to the January card, where are you filling your cups? Because you want to pay attention to that free flow of communication coming into you, what you're receiving, what you're observing, and then what you are putting out to yourself, to others, and to the world. July, August. Yep. Okay, so August from the Robin Wood Tarot. Queen of Wands. So did I mention something about divine feminine? Let me just think. Let me think. Yes, I did. So August comes with the Queen of Wands from the Robin Wood Tarot. So she is sunshine and fiery. So wands are the fire element. They, of course, have that creative energy, magic wand, movement, passion, purpose. So when you are going to look at the picture of this, you're going to see that not exactly diagonal, but a little bit diagonal, we get that passion from the May card. And now we're in August and we get the fire. She's got sunflowers on here. She's got sun on her robe. She goes back to those colors like the other queen of the red, orange, yellow, right? But she's brought in the green because of that heart center and that growth coming up. Okay, the Queen of Wands. Now, so definitely bringing in that creative energy, bringing in that passionate energy, bringing in that wand energy, that queen energy, very similar in queen context to the Queen of Cups, but she brings in different stuff. So there is that magic of creation in ways that people don't even think it's possible. So this is opening that expansion. And look at her, she's open. She's looking at the land going, all right, this is how it's going to be. I have my connection with the sun, which is the masculine energy. I am opening to the possibility. I have my magic wand with its funky lighter crystal on the top. I am ready to bring, to grow, to see what's growing and to acknowledge it. And we have the sunflowers in there as well. She also has a black cat in the back, which you may or may not see. Black cat. So we know we've got that energy of mysticism, of spirituality, of respecting light and dark and looking at things from the different perspectives, because we cannot look in only one way. We've got to look at it from the whole picture. And that includes day, night, light, dark, everybody, from things that are going great to things that are challenged. We've got to look at that whole perspective. This Queen of Wands for August also brings in a reminder and a message about, how am I going to say it? So she's standing on a desert. To me, it looks like she's standing on the desert. It's all sand as far as the eye can see. It's sand. But where she is able to grow the sunflowers. So she feels as though, with everything else I've already said, that she is bringing a bit of a warning that this communication we've seen before, this power, this passion, power of the queens, the power of the divine feminine, the power of wanting to nurture and care, it has the possibility of burning if it is not well managed. So remember, any power, right? So when I think of the wands, I think of power, passion, purpose, fire, movement into stuff. So there are decisions here, but from a passionate sort of under coming up way. But it has the possibility and the potential to burn if it is not utilized properly. And isn't that sort of the hero's journey throughout time? Every story that has a quote unquote good guy, bad guy, is that whether that power gets utilized to benefit more than an individual, more than one planet in a lot of the sci-fi stuff, or whether it is a power hungry burning off of others, damaging others in the process. Now, remember, we do have balance, and we've seen nature. We know that nature is not all sun and roses and fluffy bunny slippers and unicorns all the time. The natural world where humans live does have a natural balance, and that means that there are things that survive and things that don't. But as a human species, we look at things, we can look at things in different ways. And this is reminding us that, hey, this power that we wield, these decisions, this possibility, this fiery energy, this responsibility as decision makers, as queen energy, is to pay attention to where is it burning, okay? And where is it solving? Where is it helping? Where is it nurturing, right? So when you look at from the May with the Gaia nurturing, then the Queen of Cups, and the communicating freely, which is a turning point and a very important point, then here we get that, hey, whoa, pay attention to the options, pay attention to what's happening. So if some of the other stuff has not happened in ways that are the most helpful, the most valuable, then I see that there will be some real challenges in certain parts of the world. And we've seen that in other years. So it's not a big stretch to say that there will be, unfortunately, forest fires. There will be really high heat in certain places. But what I do see is that this card is saying, hey, have you looked at the previous? Have you done things? Have you paid attention? Not only you as an individual, but also greater decision makers and everything. But every individual is part of those decision-making processes. And so this is giving us that, hey, remember to open and look at the balance, light, dark, open to possibility, open to power and passion and mysticism and energy in new and interesting ways. Okay. So that is for August. So we've got 2 queens already, plus Gaia. How fascinating is that? Let's go through to September. So September is another equinox month, change of season, and we go to the Earth Magic cards. Before I pull that card, I just want to say that, of course, these readings, when I do readings, there's layers and layers of info and messages. So we may find as we go through the year that there are other things that come up with these cards or other things that connect the cards together or connect to the cards. And that's the glory of an oracle energy, of doing card readings, that they do that, right? It's not static in one point. We're reading it today. It's December 17th, my time, 2022, and snowy day, right? Winter day. So I'm reading them today, but I'm seeing them play with the potential, playing with the how are we choosing and what are we doing and what's going on. And so there's a lot of this that's available, which is fascinating. Then we get, so September, Earth Magic, the wind, the activation. So we go through heat and sunshine with our queen, and then in September we get wind activation. So it's a change of season. So here, what has happened previously, and now what needs to get activated and what is going to get activated. This card comes in with, for those in the summer who would be shifting from summer into autumn, that September comes with the, oh my goodness, wow, we're in September. What are we doing? What are we going through? What's happening? Those of you who are going from winter to spring, it will also happen, but it has a different context. It has a different energy. Still the change in terms of the year, but not so much a change in terms of the season from what I'm sensing right now. So for those going from summer to autumn in September, this wind activation card is saying that it's going to be like a, oh my goodness, wow, there's a lot going on. What do we do? How do we manage it? So this would be the, okay, have I built the windmill? Do I have my sails ready to go? Am I ready to capture the energy of this wind so that we can woohoo go on together? Or am I trying to stay put and stay in a certain way and I'm getting buffeted and it just feels like my hair is all over the place, all my stuff is blowing away. So this would be be aware of that kind of energy in September and prepare so that you have your ways to sort of capture and work with the shifting energy, the windy energy, if you like, right? This would also be a time if, as you've gone through the year, you personally have things that you would like to be activating, like to be bringing in, then you would look at what's happened so far, pause. All right, end of August, as you're heading through the last part of August, really pause, really look at everything so far, do your summary, do your reflection time, and then look at September and say, if I were to wind to pick up on something and to carry it, what do I want it to carry? And here we go. Game on, as I said before, bring it in, let's go, let's get this done. Because the wind is going to be present, the energy is going to be in movement. All right, so it goes from that Queen of Wands, where the power, passion, movement, and then we get the wind continuing, activating and bringing stuff. So really important, but we want to be able to utilize it and be prepared for it. Right, that's September energy. And the wind is also bringing that message that, you know, sometimes some people love the wind, of course, some people don't love it as much. It depends. We can get extreme winds and non-extreme winds, but it can also be the energy of, I want something to change. I need something to sort of blow away so something else can come in, and allowing that energy to be present. So for example, if somebody is going, if they're in an area which is really lacking rain, lacking cloud cover, then when a wind brings the clouds in to bring the gentle rains in, just enough to sort of calm and nurture and bring water to feed and to grow, then it's very important and it's valuable, right? So we have that coming back into sort of natural world, which of course I touch on a lot in my readings. It's part of me, it's part of who I am. But in this reading, it's also very present. So that wind is bringing in that, all right, what do I want to shift out? And what do I want the wind to welcome in? So this can also be brain, the air, the wind can be an element. And it's the first time, is it the first time? Yeah, it's really sort of the first time that we've had a lot of that sort of brain focus. So if you think about all the other cards so far have been, you know, cups, water energy, earth energy, a little bit of sort of electric energy, but this is really the wind, which is air, which can be mind, mindset, thoughts, processes. So as you head into September, I wouldn't wait until you're into September. I would look at end of August, use that Queen of Wands energy to help you to say, all right, what do I want to be shifting? What do I want the wind to blow out? How do I want my mind to follow or create that? And then to come in, what do I want it to come in? How do I want to think? How do I want to be reflecting on and looking at and processing in my mindset what I want to come in and be activated through the September energy. October. So October 2023, we are going into, so for some people, October, the end of October brings a new year and a Celtic sort of cycle. It brings a new year, it brings Samhain, Halloween type energy. For others, it is just autumn. For others, it's full on springtime. So it depends on where you are and what kind of energy you bring in. But in terms of our card, it's from the Gilded Tarot. So for October, we get the Empress. Did I mention something earlier about divine feminine? Let me just check. Let me think. Yes, I did. So two queens, Gaia, and the Empress. So just pause for a moment. We don't know what the next year is going to be. Some people have real strong predictive skills. That is not my skill set, but I'm loving doing this because it's showing us into the windows, right? Into the doorways, the possibilities. But when we look at a year and we look at the possibilities of what a year wants to bring and wants us to pay attention to, and we get Gaia, we get family, right? We get Gaia, we get Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, and now the Empress in October. So for me in the Northern Hemisphere, October, really powerful month in terms of energy, right? That autumn energy. We have Thanksgiving up here where, gratitude for the harvest. We've got Samhain, Halloween energy, which is connecting with ancestors, connecting with the spiritual world. And then we bring it back into that connection with all things heavens and spirit, all things earth, through the Empress, the mother, the high mother. Okay, she's holding the feminine sign, but she has all the signs of the zodiac here. So she is looking through down onto the earth where we have seen Gaia is present, right? We know she's present. We know we live on a planet Earth, and we tend to refer to her in the feminine, right? And here we have this divine feminine, right? So regardless of anything else that's happened so far in 2023 up until October. In October, we are looking at, all right, what has been created? What do we want to create? What do we need to create? What is in my power to bring forward the energy of the Great Mother? So if you are a more male figure, you would be looking at, how does my fathering, how does my being in father energy, what do I need to heal from my father journey? My mother journey as well, if I'm a male energy, and how am I representing that parenting onto others? How am I representing that care for my family, for the land, for myself, for the world? The feminine is going to take, of course, all of that as well from the mother's side. And then you each cross over because you have both components. You have male and female, masculine, feminine. Okay? She is powerful. She is beautiful. And she is representing that connection between spirit and high earth, right? Mother Earth, Gaia. So remember, within yourself, you have all things. You have divine masculine, divine feminine. You have all of the signs of the zodiac within your chart. You have your primaries. You have others that are very important to you, your moon sign, your ascending sign, all these things. They're all parts of who you are. You have the cycles that you are in, the season, the month, the life cycle, the stage of life, right? You have your work cycles. Where are you at with work? You have all these things. They're all a part of you. And finding that balance so that she can come in and create with you is so utterly powerful and fabulously beautiful that I don't want you to ignore it. I don't want you to miss it. I want you to bring in that Empress energy into yourself and allow it. There is healing to be done in this month in October 2023. There is healing to be done. There is opportunity for creation, and there is high awareness of the balance of all that you are. So if you feel you're missing parts of you, or you have parts of you that need healing, this would be the time, if it hasn't already happened up to this point, this would be the time to strongly look at it. If it has already happened, then bring that gratitude in. Fill yourself with the abundance of the Empress energy and allow that all of those cups to be refilled again if they are not already full from that January card. Love it. So that's October. November 2023, very powerful, right? Very powerful. I wish I wish I could convey the degree to which that Empress card in October 2023 brings power. But it's from that creative, divine, feminine, nurturing place that we've talked about with the other cards. So there's a theme, strong underlying theme here. November 2023, from the Native Spirit Oracle cards, we get gathering your tribe. Okay, so who are you? Who do you connect with? Who do you relate to? Who do you want to gather together? It is also bringing together communities. So maybe you don't really, know your community, but maybe you can get to know them. Maybe you are part of organizations or groups and you really want to be paying attention to who are the people in this? What do they need? How do I relate to them? How do I work with them? How do I see their lives? And then ask them to tell me about their lives, right? Recognizing that if we really have a tribe, do we have people on the outside, on the outskirts of the tribe? Are they happy being there? Are they content living a quiet life or a life that is outside of the community? Or do they really want to be included, but they don't know how? So this is an individual process, looking at friends, family, workplaces, looking at all those relationships that we talked about previously in this year reading so far. But now it's really gathering your tribe. So those who you are creating a tribe with, creating a community with, creating a family by choice with. And then it's also acknowledging that you are part of bigger systems, communities, regions, provinces, countries, states, um, continents, planets, like who knows, right? All of this. So gathering your own by choice, recognizing others that are in your community, in your village, in your town, in your workplace, and how do you gather them together? So maybe that person who works in the office across the way, you don't really see eye to eye, but how can there be that connection? What is their value to you and what you do? What are their needs? Is there something that they're on the outskirts of the community and they need to be brought in? Is there something that they require in order to improve their position within the community so they can do what they do best? So this is a very community-minded card. It's very much for you as an individual and your own community by choice. And then looking at the other communities you're a part of. Could be your family, could be your friend network, but it's also going to be those you don't necessarily know, the people on your street, the people in your town, the people in that organization that you've been a part of for a long time, but you only know this group. So who are the others? What do they represent? What do they need? Why are they there? And then gather. Not everybody in the community, in the tribe, in the gathering serves the same purpose. Recognize that. We're all unique. We all have different services, different skills, different talents, different things that we can shine at and do shine at. And that is absolutely valuable. So when we shine that light to say, this is a person who is not going to fit into the community in this way, but they can fit in this way. Oh, amazing. These 5 people serve and help and have value in these different ways. Fantastic. These people I love to have dinner with. These people, not so much, but I recognize their value and their role based on this, this, and this. Very big expansion of awareness and community and gathering. So interesting. It's also a strong reminder for shelter. So it's a strong reminder that what are the basics that the world needs, the natural world, animals, creatures, everything in the natural world, what do they need? Because it has that sort of shelter on it, that home base. So what do they need in order to be able to do their roles importantly? So this is coming back to earth balance, climate, environment, but it's also looking at individuals and people. In order to be able to do this role that is so vital, this person and their tribe needs this, this, and this. So how do we allow that to happen? How do we help that to happen? What do I as an individual need to do within myself so that I can open to that, as I've seen earlier in the year? And this is bringing it around to a stronger level, because we don't function as individuals super well. There are great people who do, and goodness knows I admire them. The people who are absolutely self-sufficient, who take themselves and live purely their own existence on their own, doing everything they need. But the vast majority is a part of a collective, part of a community, part of stuff. So how do we raise each other up in that? So that's November, right? What do you need in your shelter, in your home? What does another person need? And how do we, in our individual ways, recognize that and become aware, but also help to bring that together? So then we look to December, the last card of the year, 12 of the months, and then we're going to do a general card, a theme card. So for December 2023, we come up with the soul coaching oracle cards, and we bring up impeccability. Oh, year review. Wow. Impeccability, year review. I am impeccable in my thought, word, and deed. So this is bringing in two different things. As we look, so a year from now, December 2023, from the time I'm recording this, we are looking at year review, looking back. What have we learned? What's happened? What have we accomplished? What has been my needs? What have been my journeys? What have been my adventures? Good, bad, ugly, fantastic. Right? For myself, from those close to me, for the world, all of it. But then it's noticing the fine print. And in that fine print, it's saying, I am impeccable in my thought, word, and deed. So what do you stand for? And how do you bring that about in every thought, word, and deed? Every thought, word, and action. So if you want to look sort of at the whole year, and you look at this as an awareness through the year, this card feels to me as if it's giving us all the option to say, by December this year, December next year, when you do a year review, where will you stand in the, I am impeccable in my thought, word, and deed, my values, my actions, my thinking, my behaviors, my self-care, my care of others, all of it, right? Where will I stand when I look back at the list, when I do the review, when I look at the fine print? And why is it important? So while this is a card for a year from now, it feels as though it's an underlying current that is in every other card. Personal responsibility, personal awareness. Doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. Not at all. It's not about that. It's about awareness and opening to, can I be? Can I bring in some of this? How would I want to do it? Why would I want to do it? Good questions. Okay. So that's for December of next year. And I think it's also going to show us by that month, it's going to show us a lot of the fruits of our labor, if you like, the fruits of what has come through in the year, what as individuals, but also as a whole, what has happened, how has all this other stuff played out in the year, and what is going to be listed on the story of that year. So if you had a scroll like in old times and somebody were to undo the scroll and say, I am reading out the story of 2023. What do we want to see on that? What would you like to hear? And it starts now. Ooh, so powerful, so powerful. So then those are the 12. Those are the 12 months. So now I also pulled a last card as a theme. Now I've already seen themes. I've seen a bunch of themes. I'm not going to repeat them all because you've heard them. You've been listening. Right. But what's a theme card, or what's an overriding message that this reading wants to give us for 2023? It's from the Earth Magic Oracle cards. And it is, surprise, surprise, childhood, innocence. Oh. So what have we had throughout all of this? We've had motherhood, we've had mothering, the queens, the empress, Mother Earth, personal responsibility, choice, coming up through, right? And now we get childhood. So the children, what do the children need? How would they see the world through their eyes? Innocence. They look at the storm off in the distance. What do they think of it? What do they see when they see the light coming down? Are they going to play fishing, or are they fishing for food, or both? Are they enjoying the fishing, right? Are they enjoying the gathering? Maybe they're out gathering fruits, right? Have they enjoyed playing in the water or looking at the animals? This is all in the picture. Have they enjoyed the big tree? Are they standing nurturing next to the big tree as the boy has his hand on it? So childhood. So there's a part that is you recognizing what you have been through in your journey from childhood to whatever age you are now. What innocence was present, what innocence got lost, what innocence needs to be recognized in the context of the rest of these months, right? Is there healing? Is there nurturing that you need to do for you? Because it then impacts what happens for the rest of the children, the inner child in all the other people, as well as yours, and the actual children, the aged children that are present, and their innocence and their journey and their learning and their growing. Okay? We know there are going to be storms. That's part of nature. That's part of life. But how we respond to them and how the children get to live and learn and grow through those storms brings us to the rainbow of the January card. Look at this, right? Family oriented. And it doesn't mean your family looks like this. Your family may look nothing like this, and that's fine. But there's something about that innocence of childhood that is necessary. It is part of the journey of the human experience. And there's an innocence there that the natural world presents that humans perhaps need a big reminder on. And this is what is coming up with that. That wonder, that innocence to observe, to notice, right? We all know it. The innocence of when you give a really young child a fabulous gift in a great box and they're playing with the box, right? We know that innocence. They see things, they see the clouds, they see the possibilities, they see, okay, the power of youth to show us things, but also the power through adulthood, through decision making, through choices, through journeying of healing and releasing and awareness and opening, to recognize what do the children really need. What are they teaching us? What are they showing us? And what do we need to do for the children of the natural world and the human children? That is the overriding theme, that all the mothering energy comes with all the other messages for 2023. I hope that this has been of value to you. I hope it's been interesting. It's been fascinating for me to see these cards and to journey through 2023 in this way. I look forward to touching on it throughout the year and seeing what comes up and seeing how it all connects together with world events and personal decisions for you, for me, for everybody. So hopefully you'll refer back to this, and I hope that it is of great value to you from now throughout the year. Wishing you all the best for your 2023 year. I hope this year wheel serves you well. Until next time, this is Sheila BlueWater Oracle signing off, sending you many blessings and much abundance and great nurturing through the divine feminine and through the earth on which we live. Until next time, ciao.